5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, friends, now we're live on Facebook and on Instagram. Apologies to Facebook friends that it took a little bit to get started. Instagram friends, thanks for keeping me company while I tried again. Tara, good to see you. Hi, Michelle. Sandy, Cynthia, good to see you. Hi, Arlene. All right, let's take a breath, sing a bracha. We're going to learn some Torah. Sorry about that. That was worth waiting for. Barbara, it's good to see you too. Hi, John. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for all the God bless yous. You always want to start a broadcast by sneezing. Let's start with a little bit of what you have been sharing. Patricia, davening for your daughter. Her surgery follow-up appointment is this morning. Davening for her, that she should learn good news. I saw that it is someone's... Siona, today is your 41st wedding anniversary. Mazel tov. That is beautiful. Good to share that with you. And Linda is asking for prayers for her friend Janet, whose husband was just diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Sending him a blessing of strength, sending her all of our blessing too, and you as their friend. Thank you for giving us the chance to be present for them. Okay. Let's take a breath and look back for a second. It is December 30th, 2025. What a year this has been. It has had peak moments, it has had dark moments, and it would be so easy just to take this moment and move forward. But that's not what we do, not as Jews. We make sure that we look at where we are and where we've been, so that number one, we can learn from all the hard-won wisdom that we have gained over time, and so that we don't forget to have gratitude for the blessings that have come our way as well. And so this is a moment in time, and there's a hint in our Parsha, especially through Midrash, that gives us language for that. In Parshat Vayechi, Jacob dies. After a very long and complicated life that, yes, had lots of blessing, but also had more than enough struggle for multiple lifetimes, our ancestor dies. And he has made a request of Joseph and his children that that they would bury him not in Egypt, but back in the ancestral homeland in the Me'arat Machpelah, the cave of Machpelah that Avraham bought to bury Sarah, where Avram and Sarah are buried, where Yitzchak and Rivka are buried, and now Jacob is buried there. Leah has been buried there. Rachel is not. It is an ancestral space that requires permission from the king of Egypt for them to leave. They go. And then we have this verse, which feels kind of innocuous in terms of its details, but listen to the Hebrew and then the English. Um, this is chapter 50, verse 14 of Genesis. Vayashov Yosef Mitzrayma, hu ve'echav v'chol ha'olim ito likbor et aviv acharei kovro et aviv. The translation here is, after burying his father, Joseph returned to Egypt. He and his brothers and all who had gone up with him to bury his father. And that doesn't sound like much, but to a rabbinic ear, we listen for the unnecessary words because we act on the premise that the Torah doesn't offer extra words. Everything is significant. And so why does it say Joseph returned to Egypt and then it says he and his brothers? Somehow their travel wasn't exactly the same. And in Breshit Rabbah, an ancient midrash, there are interpretations offered by many, many ancient sages. A one-sentence comment really captures the emotionality of the moment, likely for the rabbis and the readers. Even if it isn't what the original biblical verse meant, there's something here. This is Breshit Rabbah 100. Rabbi Yitzchak Amar halach vehitzitz beoto habor. The translation is, Rabbi Yitzchak said, he went and peered into that pit. What does that mean? It means, according to Rabbi Yitzchak, not the biblical text, but a much later comment, suggests that Joseph, after burying his father, revisited the site where his brothers sold him into slavery. Now, he has accomplished so much in his life. After descent, after descent, after pain, he has risen and saved the world, reunited his family, revealed himself to his brothers, healed, been able to hold his father and treat him with kindness and dignity at the end of his life, to honor his final wish. He has done so much. Look who he has become. And it would be so easy, or at least it'd be easier, to just go forward. To just go forward. But part of a healthy life, friends, part of a healthy life is looking back and revisiting things. Not becoming morose and only focusing on the pits, but it is also incredibly big to think about what must be going through Yosef's mind. He's so powerful. He's come so far. He has his brothers again. He has his family again. And he has the means to take care of them all. And yet he goes and revisits the pit. It reminds me of a piece that Rabbi Matthew Berkowitz, who's now the president of the Schechter Institutes in Jerusalem, who writes about this midrash, comparing Joseph's revisiting the pit to survivors revisiting places of profound suffering, a soldier returning to a battlefield, a Holocaust survivor journeying to a concentration camp. It's not about only re-experiencing the pain, but it's also about reclaiming agency and gratitude, even in the face of profound hurt. And now, very personally and also communally, Bondi Beach in Sydney is yet another place where people revisit those places. I don't know that this is a message that sounds the same to everyone. I can see that there are people commenting about the way they process their own past, and I honor that. That's what it is to stand together with friends, to know that we have different experiences, and these sacred texts pull at our nerves and our heartstrings, and we might not know everyone's backstory. What a powerful thing it is for us to consider what it is to be Joseph. Now, in the biblical text, he returns to Egypt. He just goes back. But the rabbis who have gone through their own trauma, who've lived their own history, and are writing it, it is so important for them that Joseph goes back and remembers where he came from. John is sharing that he's going to be at Nova, the Nova site, at Kibbutz Re'im in the south of Israel next week. He said, and I'm just quoting you, John, "I'm nervous to see what comes up, but as Jews, it's our duty to bear witness." That's true. And only adding to what you're saying, my friend, it is our duty to bear witness. It is also our duty to know that it's a we story. We are in this story together. Where you go, we go. And right now, Meg is literally on the bus leaving Nova right now. Meg, meet John. John, meet Meg. What an incredible connection. One comment after the other. Because Meg is me and John is both of us too. All of us in these sites of pain, of which there are too many, we take stock of how far we have come and of the things that we go through in the real world. Karen shares that for her it's Mount Sinai Hospital, the building in which she was widowed. For her it's a site of sorrow and strength. It's where I lost my grandmother too, my friend. And so here we are, as Natalie writes, Joseph goes back and we deal with the current heartache that Jews have endured. It's true. And we cannot ignore, when we look at these spaces, that we are here. We are survivors. We have survived all of these things that we are now revisiting. And as we turn the page from one year to the next on the secular calendar, I just want to bless us, friends. I want to bless us as Linda is sharing and Patricia is sharing. We are here. We have each other. We have good work ahead. It's taken a lot of healing just to get to this point. Look where we are and imagine what we can do. We are honest about where we've come from. One last comment, because my colleague and friend, Rabbi Josh Snyder, asked a really good one just now. He wrote, what would you make of the use of the word heitzitz instead of the word histakel? Heitzitz in Hebrew is to glimpse, is to look briefly at, and histakel, I think, is to take a longer look at. And histakel also is related to the word seichel, so it's to process. I don't know that the rabbis mean this, but this is me doing a midrash on their midrash of the text with my friend here. Great question. I think we are called to take note of where we have been and to revisit the places of pain, but not to think that we can entirely process them. That's not what trauma is. Trauma, from a neurobiological standpoint, never actually goes away, but we can mitigate its impact. We can learn healing, and we can turn what is often called post-traumatic stress to post-traumatic growth. It takes a tremendous amount of effort. And when we do our work, we don't ignore the past. We allow it to inform us, and it builds gratitude and character. To be meitzitz, to look just a little bit at it, here and there, is to remember where we are in life. And as I share all this, I also get to say to my son Micah, thanks, I'm glad you like my haircut. I'm grateful when I look at my life that I get to share sweet moments like this with you. Friends, may we be blessed as we take stock of where we've been, to never miss the gratitude that comes with the right, the freedom, not luxury, but the blessing of noticing how alive we are. May we be blessed to do this growth, to be strong together, to share gratitude, and never ignore the past. Allow it to motivate us to build a better future. Let's send our hearts to the east. Kol hon balevav penima nefesh Yehudi homia ulefate mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia on lo avda tikvateinu hatikva bat shnot alpayim liot am chofshi בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים, להיות עם חופשי בארצנו, ארץ ציון וירושלים. Am Yisrael Chai. See you tomorrow, my friends.